Chapter 2. The Resonance of Destiny. On Earth, days melded into nights as Shane grappled with the dissonance between his two realities. The dreams were more than mere illusions now. They felt like fragments of a disjointed memory, pulsating with life and vigor. Each day, the lure of Sirius grew stronger, and his heart yearned to uncover the secrets it held. His life began to exhibit strange patterns. There were moments when he felt a peculiar detachment from the mundane world. Instances where time seemed to slow, voices echoing from a distance, and a translucent blue shimmer would temporarily cloud his vision. Each occurrence seemed a nudge from the cosmos, guiding him towards a greater truth. At work, he often found himself staring blankly at the computer screen, lost in a world far removed from corporate presentations and deadlines. Colleagues whispered, pointing towards him with concern. They noticed the change, the distant look in his eyes, the way he would sometimes murmur names like Avera and Draconians under his breath. On a fateful evening, a peculiar event took place. Shane was drawn to a secluded alleyway, following a distant hum that only he seemed to hear. It led him to a quaint antique shop, its windows displaying relics of a bygone era. The resonance inside was unlike anything he'd ever felt. Inside, an old clock's rhythmic ticks filled the silence. A frail-looking woman with silvery hair tied in a bun stood behind the counter. As Shane entered, she looked up, her eyes twinkling with a strange recognition. "I've been waiting for you," she whispered. Shane, taken aback, asked,
"Do I know you?"
The old woman gently shook her head. "Not in this lifetime, perhaps, but your soul and mine have danced to the tunes of the cosmos for eons." Reaching beneath the counter, she produced an ornate silver pendant, its center holding a brilliantly blue stone. "This is for you," she said, handing it to Shane. The pendant pulsed with life as he held it. The sensation was overwhelming. Visions flashed before his eyes. Battles among the stars, his Orion self in full glory, and the hauntingly beautiful face of Avera. The old woman smiled. "Your path is laid out, young Orion Knight. The pendant will guide you. Remember, the universe unfolds its mysteries to those who dare to listen." Outside, the evening was deepening, and the first stars appeared. As he left the shop, Shane looked up, locking his eyes onto the radiant Sirius. With the pendant's energy coursing through him, he felt ready to unlock the secrets that the universe held for him. The journey had only just begun. The city's noises faded as Shane walked aimlessly, the weight of the pendant against his chest a grounding reminder of the encounter. It felt as though a veil was being lifted, revealing an interconnected tapestry of existence that had always been just out of reach. As he wandered the streets, his senses sharpened. He could hear whispers of conversations blocks away, feel the pulse of the city's heartbeat, and see luminescent trails left by passing souls. This was not just a pendant. It was a key, unlocking dormant abilities and memories within him. In a quiet park, Shane sat beneath an ancient oak tree, seeking solitude and clarity. Holding the pendant in his hand, he closed his eyes and focused on the rhythmic beats of his heart, synchronizing with the pulse of the pendant. As he did, visions danced behind his closed lids. Swirling galaxies, alien landscapes, and a grand cosmic council where beings of immense power and wisdom conferred. He witnessed moments of his past lives as Ninurta and Indra, seeing the battles he'd fought and the adversaries he'd faced. The Draconians were not new foes. Their shadow had been cast across many worlds, and their thirst for control had ignited cosmic wars that raged for millennia. Then, Avera's face appeared, clearer than ever. They had been intertwined in a dance of destiny across countless lifetimes. Their souls, forever entangled, sought each other out, life after life. She whispered words that echoed in the chambers of his heart.
Our love is the beacon that pierces the void, the light that shall guide you home.
Shane awoke from his meditation with a start. The sun had long set, and the park was bathed in the soft glow of the moon. The pendant, still clutched in his hand, felt warm. Though the visions had ceased, the memories remained, imprinted in his very soul. A renewed sense of purpose welled up inside him. There were answers to seek, battles to fight, and a love to reclaim. Determined, Shane made his way back to his apartment. He needed to prepare for what lay ahead, and there was no time to waste. The Draconians, the Cosmic Council, the mysteries of Sirius, all awaited him. With every step, the weight of his cosmic legacy bore down on him, but he was no longer the lost soul from Earth. He was awakening as the Orion Knight, ready to reclaim his destiny. The muted hum of the city followed Shane up the steps to his apartment, creating an oddly comforting cocoon of sound. The door, usually a mundane brown, tonight shimmered with subtle hues of gold and azure, hinting at the enchantments that lay behind it. Unlocking the door, the scents hit him first. Incense, not the kind you'd find at a local store, but something older, more profound. A scent that whispered of moonlit forests and hidden temples, of dances under the stars and chants that could bend time. His living room seemed unchanged at first glance. The same old mismatched furniture, the same pile of unread magazines, the same faint coffee stain on the worn-out rug. But tonight, there was an undercurrent of magic, making everything seem a little brighter, a tad more alive. And then he saw her. In his bedroom doorway, a silhouette illuminated only by the soft, luminescent glow from behind her. Avera, her figure, draped in silken garments that reflected the constellations, seemed almost otherworldly. The dress, while reminiscent of the traditional Hindu attire he had once seen in his visions, flowed around her like liquid night, its hem dancing just above the ground. Her skin, the deep shade of blue he had grown to recognize and adore, shimmered with an iridescent quality. As she moved closer, it shifted to that olive hue he had witnessed before, revealing her heightened emotions. Her name resonated within his mind before his lips could form the word. She was dressed in a gown that seemed woven from the tapestry of the night sky, dotted with stars and shifting nebulas. As she rose to greet him, the dress cascaded around her like the gentle fall of cosmic rain.
Shane,
she murmured, her voice the melody of a forgotten lullaby. Yet, instead of warmth, a cold confusion gripped him. He felt like a child who had stumbled into a fairy ring, half expecting the world to shift beneath his feet.
Avera, is this another dream? a vision. How can you be here in this tangible, gritty reality?
Her once bright eyes now held a layer of mist, the color of heartache.
I thought the vastness of space had stolen you from me, that the cruelty of dimensions had torn us asunder. I dared to bridge the impossible expanse, only to find you doubting our reality.
Every instinct in Shane's body told him this was a dream, some enchanting tale spun by the nighttime. Yet, as he stepped closer, the ethereal scent of her, a mix of ancient forests and distant galaxies, enveloped him. Her skin, blue transitioning to olive with every heartbeat, felt cool against his trembling fingers.
But how?
Shane whispered, the enormity of the moment weighing on him. She merely placed a hand over his heart, the rhythm syncing with her own, as if two melodies of the same song. Some truths, she replied, transcend logic and understanding.
Some truths,
she replied,
transcend logic and understanding.
Their world seemed to pause, the heartbeat of the universe pulsating around them. The boundaries between dream and reality, past and present, love and loss, all seemed to blur. In this ethereal moment, two souls, separated by dimensions and destiny, found solace in each other once more. The room seemed to breathe with them, the timbre of the universe humming in the background, a symphony only two souls intertwined across lifetimes could recognize. With the hesitancy of someone afraid the dream might shatter, Shane led Avera to the room's window. Drawing back the heavy drapes, they stood bathed in the gentle luminescence of the crescent moon, its silver light reflecting in their eyes.
You've always had a penchant for dramatic entrances,
Shane mused, allowing himself a small smile as he gazed out at the moonlit town below.
But why now, after all this time?
Avera sighed softly, her breath intertwining with the gentle night breeze.
I tried reaching you through dreams, weaving our past tales in the tapestry of your subconscious. Yet, there's an impending storm, Shane. One that even dreams couldn't convey with the urgency it demands.
He turned to her, questions crowding his mind.
What storm?
She hesitated, her eyes filled with ancient sadness.
Our adversaries from the past, those that lurk in the shadows of galaxies, are amassing strength. The tales we've lived, the battles we've fought, they're not just stories, Shane. They're memories. And the next chapter is about to be written.
The weight of her words settled heavily upon Shane. His home, his earthly life, felt increasingly like the cocoon of a dream, with the universe's vastness beckoning him to a greater destiny. Avera reached out, touching a locket around her neck. As it opened, a soft, harmonious tune filled the air.
This melody,
she whispered,
is a remnant of our love, a testament to our bond that stretches across galaxies.
As the tune enveloped them, memories came flooding back. Battles fought alongside celestial beings, quiet moments under alien sunsets, and promises made under the canopy of shimmering stars. Pulling her close, Shane buried his face in her hair.
Then we'll face this storm together, as we always have.
The night deepened around them, yet in that room, two souls, bound by love and destiny, found strength in each other, preparing for the cosmic storm that lay ahead. The days that followed were a blur of preparation and whispered strategy. Kanisa, the fierce Irma from Lyra, joined them, bringing with her the ancient texts and weapons they might need. In the quiet hours, she would train Shane, teaching him to harness the latent powers within. One evening, as twilight painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, Shane and Avera stood on his balcony, looking at the stars that twinkled like distant memories.
You know,
Shane began, his fingers entwined with Avera's.
I always felt a pull towards the stars, even before I knew our story. Every night, I'd look up, feeling like a piece of me was out there, waiting to be discovered.
Avera leaned into him.
That's the echo of our love, resonating through the cosmos. It was a beacon, guiding you back to me, back to us.
He smiled, turning to face her. The moonlight caught her eyes, making them shimmer like twin galaxies.
And now that I've found you, I won't let go. No matter the battles, no matter the odds.
She touched his face, tracing the lines of his life, love, and destiny.
Promise?
Promise.
He whispered back. As they stood together, the universe bore witness to their bond, one that had stood the test of time, space, and fate. Meanwhile, inside the house, Kanisa was engrossed in deciphering ancient texts, her feline eyes narrowing as she read. Her instincts told her that the upcoming battle would be like none they'd faced before. The Draconians had grown in power and number, and their goal was not just conquest, but obliteration. The night deepened, and the trio prepared, for the storm was coming, and they would meet it head-on, united by destiny and driven by love. The next morning, the sun painted streaks of gold across the horizon, filling the house with a warm, comforting glow. The previous night's conversation weighed heavily on Shane's mind. He found himself in the kitchen, trying to concoct a simple earth breakfast. Avera stepped in, her blue hue now subdued, almost blending in with the Earth's atmospheric resonance.
I want to understand this place you call home,
she began, her gaze drifting over the simple appliances and furnishings.
Your Earth, its colors, its flavors, its heartbeat.
Shane chuckled.
Starting with breakfast, I presume.
She smiled, nodding.
Indeed. Let's begin our earthly sojourn with a meal.
The two navigated the kitchen together, with Shane leading the way. They prepared a breakfast of oatmeal, toast, and fresh orange juice. The seemingly mundane act became a dance of intimacy and understanding, as Shane shared tales of earthly culinary traditions, and Avera related them to her own cosmic experiences. As they sat down to eat, Avera looked thoughtful.
Shane, I've decided to stay on Earth with you for a few days. Before we face the tempest that awaits, I want to immerse myself in your world. See it through your eyes.
He raised an eyebrow, a playful smirk on his face.
And what prompted this sudden interest?
Avera replied, her voice soft.
In every universe, in every version of our story, it's always been our love that's been the constant. I want to understand all facets of you, including this world that's shaped you.
Their fingers touched across the table, silent promise passing between them. Throughout the following days, Avera experienced Earth as if she was a curious child. They walked through bustling city streets, explored serene countryside meadows, and even ventured to a beach where the vastness of the ocean reminded Avera of the endless stretch of space. But it wasn't just the sights, it was the people. Avera was fascinated by Earth's diversity, the myriad of cultures, languages, and traditions. She saw the beauty and the chaos, the love and the struggles. One evening, as they sat on the beach, watching the sun dip below the horizon, Avera spoke.
Your Earth, it's beautiful and complex, just like our love story. I now see why you hold it so dear.
Shane replied,
And when all this is over, when the universe is at peace once more, I hope you'll call it home too.
with the waves gently caressing their feet and the universe as their witness. The two souls drew closer, letting the rhythm of Earth lull them into a serene moment of togetherness. The end of Chapter 2. Please stay tuned for Chapter 3.